What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let me give y'all a little disclaimer. Everything in this video is alleged. Nobody has been convicted yet, and they are all innocent until proven otherwise. Let's get right into the story. When it comes to the streets, it's certain codes you are supposed to live by if you are involved. We all know, take your charge if you get jammed up with somebody else, if the product or blick is yours. If you go on a mission with someone and get caught, don't mention names, talk to police, or say nothing crazy on a jail phone. But we all know over the last few decades, the streets have started making their own rules. Friends backdooring each other, leaders and bosses of organizations telling on the soldiers under them. It's really all over the place. No order, loyalty, or code if we want to be real. So when someone who isn't involved in the politics get caught up in a situation of wrong place, wrong time, or just living or working in an environment where there's a lot of activity going on, should they be held accountable for being a citizen? And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will take it to Chicago, Illinois, to discuss a case involving an alleged gang hit of one of their own members and a plot to get rid of the witness. Back in 2016, 33-year-old Muhsin Suleiman owned a cell phone store in the Humboldt Park part of the city. The store, called Division Quick Stop and Sell, was located at 3657 West Division Street and allegedly had a strong gang presence in the area of the Four Corner Hustlers, a squad that's known for getting money and street activity in the shop, with the name stemming from grinding and hustling on all four corners of the world. But on March 2nd, 2016, things got crazy when two alleged members of the organization were at the Quick Stop store. They were a man named T. Scott for short and Deshaun Jones. Deshaun was said to be talking to somebody in the back of the store, while T. Scott kept pacing back and forth from the inside of the store to the outside, calling people and texting. A 31-year-old man named Tommy Lee Pledge entered the location to make a purchase. As he walked to the counter, allegedly T. Scott walked back inside, upped his blick, shooting Tommy multiple times in the back. A 23-year-old witness in the store took cover as the shots went off, but then saw Deshaun walk towards the front, take Tommy's blick off of him, and shoot the man a few more times. Then T. Scott and Deshaun hopped in a Dodge Challenger and fled the scene. Chicago PD were in the area and got on the vehicle in the 4300 block of West End Avenue, and the car crashed. Then T. Scott and Deshaun hopped out to run on feet. T. Scott was caught, but Deshaun was in the wind. Police allegedly found 2 9mm in the car before taking the man into custody. Back at the store, unfortunately, Tommy was already gone. Police talked to Muhsin, who told them what happened. Being the owner of the store, he was cooperating with the investigation. Ballistics were recovered and tests were done on the 2 blicks recovered from the getaway car. Police got a hit and linked them as the murder weapon. T. Scott was eventually charged with the hit, and eventually Deshaun was caught later that same month in Indiana and charged with first-degree hit and handgun charges as well. The community was stating they didn't know what happened because the victim and shooters were all allegedly a part of the Four Corner Hustlers. A few years would go by. Fast forward to 2019, Muhsin was still running the store, but it was a problem. Now he was the one and only cooperating witness to a gang hit. As the 2 men were fighting the case, another young man would come into the picture, 19-year-old Kyrell Pittman. Kyrell had been chopping it up with T. Scott while he was awaiting trial through a jail phone. With the men fighting for their freedom, T allegedly was telling Kyrell the witness gotta go. All prosecutors had was the owner of the store. So while at Cook County, the men would constantly discuss a plan to get rid of Mudasing. It was a problem though. Kyrell was already on the box or home monitoring for his own gun charge, and his location was being monitored all the time. If he went on a mission, he took the chance of being caught. But the store owner had identified the two men as the shooters, so pressure was put on Kyrell to make a move. On May 3rd, 2019, Mudasing was closing up the store. That night, he walked across West Division Street and headed to his vehicle before shots went off, striking the man. The shooter then took off, but didn't realize police were only down the street. They quickly got on his heels as he ran to a waiting car in an alley close by. Officers and the shooter exchanged quick shots, and the getaway car got away without nobody being hit. But unfortunately, Mudasing wouldn't survive the attack. But back on the crime scene was a mask the shooter dropped, and crazy enough, he also dropped the blick after shooting it out. They used DNA tests on the gun, and the investigation started. It linked Kyrell as the trigger man. When taken into custody, he wasn't wearing his ankle monitor, in which it was determined he cut it off just 2 hours before the shooting. The young man stated he was depressed over a family member being hit, and he only cut it off so he can get some skate time away from being tracked all the time. But detectives soon retrieved jail calls with T. Scott and Kyrell, and they heard the men plotting the whole thing. Even the alleged recording of T. Scott knowing exactly what was going on by the cell phone store right before and after the shooting. All from Cook County. Kyrell was arrested for the hit. Not long after, also was another man named Tremel Scott and a young lady named Brittany Stewart. Police pointed at Kyrell as the shooter. I'm not sure what roles the other two were supposed to play in the whole situation, but all three were charged with first-degree murder. No one has been convicted, and all are innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to both men that lost their life in this situation, Tommy and Mudasing. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to both of their families. T. Scott was also charged in the 2009 hit on a man named Willie Parker, who was 38 years old at the time and sitting in a parked car on the same block they both lived in together. I'm not sure what the initial beef was all about between Tommy, Deshaun, and T, especially if they were all gang, but politics run deep in the streets. As for the store owner, I really want to know what y'all think. I know the saying, mind your business. If it don't apply, let it fly. But somebody got hit in his place of business, which could affect his livelihood for him and his family. He was a citizen, not in the streets, but we all know sometimes location and situations make a person guilty by association. Just being the owner of a store in the gang area. Was he wrong for being a witness? Do y'all think if he wouldn't have said anything, this wouldn't have happened? Leave it in the comments. Definitely be respectful. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, them two men that lost their life. You know, like I said, everybody in this situation still awaiting trial. As far as T. Scott, they hit him with another body from like 2009. I don't know if while he was locked up, people decided to start talking, because he got locked up in 2016 for the situation with Tommy at the store, but to hit him with a body from 7 years prior, that's crazy, you know what I mean? But, you know, it be like that. Once you get locked up, they get your DNA in the system. They start running fingerprints. People start talking. But, yeah, man, I ain't going to talk y'all head off with this one. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Remember to be respectful. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.